enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. So I've bought a new car and it's not a Mini. We'll get into that in a moment, but just quickly, I keep getting asked about the racing green. The racing green is pretty much done. There's no more work I can do on it at the moment. I'm just waiting for the engine and gearbox to come back. The engine has been fully overhauled. We got the original matching numbers engine out the car, which was a bit like a boat anchor. It was all rusty and everything like that because it had been sat at the back of a damp garage. So that has been fully overhauled. It had to have a new crank in it, or a new second-hand crank, and that obviously had to be machined and everything like that. It's going to have obviously rebore, oversized pistons, headwork done on it, new modified camshaft, and all lightened and balanced and everything like that. So the thrust washers are finally here now, so that engine can get built back up, and then it's literally going to be, you know, a day, weekend, and the engine and gearbox will be back in, get it running, and then get it off for an MOT. The guy I actually bought the car off wanted the old engine back. So if you remember, the original engine, that was the one that was like a boat anchor. It did have a 998 in it, which was actually pretty sweet. And the deal I had with the guy I bought the car off was he dug out and found the old engine for me, and we've just done a straight swap. So he's having the short block back that was in the car, and then quite nice actually, his grandson's doing motor mechanics at college and he's going to use that engine as his college project to rebuild. So that's quite nice. While he was here actually, he dropped off some sill plates. These are the original ones off the car. I'm glad he found them because they are the original John Cooper Garage's sill plates. They are exactly the same as on my Rover Cooper, and there are actually invoices for this in the history pack with the car. So nice touch, original period John Cooper accessory, not copies. So the car I've bought is a very British two-seater sports car convertible. It's not an MGB. I'm going to tease you a bit. Let's just give some cheeky little snaps and little bits of video and see if you can guess. I'm sure you'll probably guess pretty quickly what it is. Morning chaps. Next stop, Norwich. 7 AM. Too early on a weekend. I'll see you in a bit. Cutting a bit fine, so I had to run. Should have left home earlier. Just about made it. Right, so I've picked it up. I've just driven away from the guy's house, didn't want to film outside his house. The first few miles driving it away are all single track, super narrow lanes with potholes, the ones where you have passing places so you can't fit two cars down, and all the hedges are really high. So I've got to be honest, it's quite nervous driving it down those single tracks, but we're out to normal roads now. We'll be on the motorway in a minute, and I have the very difficult task, or very enjoyable task, of driving it 160 miles home. So maybe I'll try and do a bit of filming on the way. I didn't bring any mounts with me, but yeah, fantastic, awesome car. More to come on this. So one of the reasons I bought a Tamora was because I knew it would fit in my garage quite nicely. Of all the later TVRs, the Tamora is probably the smallest in terms of wheelbase, so short wheelbase, quite a small car. It was actually part of, they called them the T-Series cars. I think it was a T350, the Tuscan, the Tamora, the Sagaris. They were all very, very similar. They all used a Speed 6 engine. They all had a very similar chassis, but the Tamora was the short wheel-based version. So yeah, it fits in quite nicely. I've still got room around the front. If I bought a Tuscan or a Cerbera, would have never fitted in this garage. I've got room down the side of the car, and I've got the two other Minis in here as well, and a bit of room for my golf clubs. So yeah, I mean, it's bigger than a Mini, but it's not massively bigger than a Mini. You could still work on it in here. So yeah, at the moment, all I want to do is drive it. It's just so much fun to drive. Keep finding excuses to go out to places and do things, but what I really want to do is go out and do some drive it days and things like that. So, did you guess? It is a TVR Tamora, 2004. It's a 3.6 litre, 341 brake horsepower, and it weighs 1,060 kilos. So it is very, very quick. It's got TVR's own Speed 6 engine, which can scare the life out of people because they're well renowned for being quite fragile. They are basically a racing engine, but if you look up a bit of TVR history, the bigger problems seem to have been with the earlier cars. The original version of the Speed 6 engine was a 4 litre, and it went in the Tuscan from about the year 2000 onward. My car is a 2004 car, so it's a little bit later, and it's a 3.6. So the 3.6 were meant to be a little bit more robust. And certainly my car has done 45,000 miles, has never had a rebuild. So in my mechanical mind, if it's lasted 45,000 miles without needing a rebuild, it was a good engine to start with. Generally, if there's something wrong with an engine, you're going to know about it quite quickly. So my TVR come from the Nikolai Smolensky era of TVR ownership. So lots of owners for TVRs over the years. It was previously sold to a Russian guy, Nikolai Smolensky, can't even pronounce it. Yeah, and he had a big push on improving the quality of TVRs because they did get a bit of a reputation for not being put together very well. So fingers crossed, touch wood, the car I've bought is going to be a good one. So where does it fit in the channel? It's not a Mini. It doesn't need a restoration. In fact, it doesn't want for much actually. It just wants the ongoing TLC love and care and maintenance that a TVR does. I mean, they are quite high maintenance cars. It will probably feature on the channel, but obviously the Minis are still there. I've got no plans to sell any of the Minis, and when another project comes up for a Mini, I'll probably be buying another project as well. But just for me, I've always been into TVRs. I owned a Cerbera and a Chimera 20 years ago, before I had kids, before I turned a little bit sensible, and I've been sensible for the last 20 years, and I just thought, I've got to scratch that itch. Before I'm 50, I want a TVR again. So I've bought that car. I'm not going to tell you everything about it now. I'll talk about it more in future videos, but probably just a quick video today. Few little teaser clips. If you're interested, if you like the idea of a TVR, let me know. Thumbs up. Thumbs down if you don't like it, I don't mind. But no, I'm really, really looking forward to it and having some fun with it. And for me, there's lots of different cars out there in that sort of price range that you could get, but none really turn me on. There's nothing that I think I really, really want one, but a TVR, just special place in my heart. I've owned them before. They are awesome cars, and British through and through, which is what I really, really like. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to drop me a comment, I read all the comments. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Might be some TVR stuff in future. Thanks once again. I'll catch you again on the next one. Cheers.